Guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a great day so far. So today I'm actually back to reacting to a Rewired Soul video talking about coping with the anxiety of the coronavirus. But before we even get into all of that, if you are new here, welcome. This is Journey to Find Kay, and I'm Kay. I like to talk about mental health. I react to the Rewired Soul, but I also like to talk about other topics that we can find here on YouTube and society. If I can find a lesson about mental health and or substance abuse, because I'm a mental health patient, worker, and advocate, and I want to use my opinion, my experience to negate some of these negative things that we honestly see every day. Okay, so if you enjoy my content and you enjoy watching me, don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell so that way you're also notified every time I post a video. I also have a Patreon. I want to remind you guys real quick, you can head over to patreon.com, Journey to Find Kay. Check out my tiers, check out the different perks that you get with each one, and if you want to support me over there, that is awesome. If not, just watching my videos, liking, commenting, subscribing is support. It's support, and it all is greatly appreciated. So you can definitely check out patreon.com, or you can like this video, enjoy this video, watch this video. I appreciate it either way.
Okay, don't judge me. I had to hop onto a Snapchat filter because your girl was looking rough. But I recorded this video before I got a new patron. So I want to shout out Jael for being my new patron. Thank you for signing up on Patreon. I appreciate you so much just for being here from day one. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get into this video.
So I'm back with another Rewired Soul reaction, and this man already made me mad. He already made me mad, and I haven't even watched the video yet.
Why am I mad, you might ask?
Because of his title. It's coping with coronavirus anxiety. Coping with coronavirus anxiety. So you guys can already see why I might be annoyed. Right now, people are freaking out about the coronavirus, and you're going to make a video with it in the title. I haven't started the video yet, just from your title. This is you doing that again. This is you trying to capitalize off of people's anxiety. I can't. I'm annoyed. I'm already annoyed. So that is the video we're going to be reacting to today, you guys. It's a great start already. Let's just go ahead and see what he has to say.
Everybody, this is Chris from the Rewired Soul, where we talk about the problem but focus on the solution. And today we're going to be talking about some of the anxiety surrounding the coronavirus outbreak. So I'm somebody who has been diagnosed with a generalized anxiety disorder. So my anxiety hits me left and right, and it doesn't take much to trigger it. All right, I can start freaking out about seemingly meaningless things. So when everywhere you look, it's talking about this new virus outbreak, my brain wants to go to the worst places possible, and it's something that can completely take over my day. And I know a lot of you out there.
He could have just talked about having anxiety. I don't understand why you're attaching coronavirus. Oh wait, I do. You're capitalizing off of people kind of freaking out about the coronavirus, and you're taking advantage of people who might not be doing enough research, maybe looking into how many cases are actually being reported. It's just, it's like, come on. Like, really, we learn nothing. We learn nothing.
They struggle with anxiety as well. So what I wanted to do was discuss some of the ways that I personally cope with this type of anxiety. And
like, you could have did this. You could have just said that without using the coronavirus. You really are sitting here trying to make money, huh? Because you know people, let's play off of people's fears. I can't.
All right, but before we get started, there have been a couple of hundred deaths surrounding the coronavirus. And it's tragic, and my heart goes out to anybody who has experienced a
But how many of that has been in the United States? And I do feel for those outside of the United States, specifically where it started. My heart goes out to them, because that sucks. It really does. Like, honestly, I couldn't even imagine. But how many cases has it been in the United States? Why are we fear-mongering people? Like, just trash. Just trash. Look, I can't.
From the virus. And as I discussed this video and how I personally cope with it, just know that I don't mean to minimize or trivialize any of the deaths surrounding this virus. I'm just a guy.
When you gotta put a disclaimer on it, there has to be something wrong. You know you're gonna piss somebody off. And honestly, you could have just made a video about coping with anxiety. You did not have to throw coronavirus in it to where you wouldn't even probably need that disclaimer, but you decided to capitalize off of it. So
anxiety disorder, trying to share my experience of how I cope with this, all right? So as somebody with anxiety, something I try to do is think logically and rationally, all right? Like fear, anxiety, these are all very natural parts of the human experience. Some of you who have been around my channel for a while, I talk about, the biological mechanisms that come with anxiety. I educate myself about that because it helps me, like knowing the inner workings of my brain helps me even further manage my anxiety, all right? So being worried, being scared, these are very normal, but anxiety takes it to a whole new level. And when we're experiencing anxiety, like for me, I get completely irrational. I start worrying.
The way a lot of people describe anxiety is that fight or flight feeling. You're stuck in flight. You're constantly stuck in flight. When we talk about anxiety, that's a big analogy that people use. They state that it is your body in fight or flight mode, but you're essentially stuck in flight. You're constantly feeling that I need to go, move, let's get out of here feeling. So sometimes that's just a little bit easier for people to understand anxiety a little bit better.
About things that I shouldn't be worrying about it. Like my brain is like Chicken Little, the sky is falling and I will freak the hell out. So in order to step back and start thinking more logically and rationally, what I do is I start looking up statistics, I bust out calculators and start calculating percentages if those percentages aren't already available. All right? So currently, according to the New York Times, and this was just updated a few hours ago.
Honestly, that's just something that I don't want to knock anyone's coping skill, but I feel like that could be counterproductive for some people. If that's your anxiety and you going to research it, a lot of times we can find information that can confirm how we're feeling. So me personally, I wouldn't use that as a coping skill for certain things because for my anxiety, that wouldn't work. It would actually freak me out a little bit more because I'm like, no, I don't want to even look into that type of stuff when that's happening.
I believe a bunch of news outlets have updated or are currently updating the number of deaths surrounding the coronavirus. So currently there are a little over 250 confirmed deaths. All right, and we have thousands of confirmed cases. There are some here in the United States. Other ones are spreading to different parts of the world. All right, but again, something I try to do is
fear-mongering. This is fear-mongering because his main demographic is in the United States. I know we have people from the UK, Canada, other parts of the world that do watch us, and I'm glad he's cognizant of that and talking about it on a global scale. But again, his main demographic is in America. This to me feels like fear-mongering. Oh, people are worried about the coronavirus. So many people have died, but you're not telling how many people has been in the United States. Because again, not diminishing those other deaths because that's messed up. And I feel for those families because I couldn't even imagine. But your main demographic is the United States to where we haven't had as many deaths or even cases as those other countries. I feel like it's fear-mongering. You're fear-mongering your viewers, people who are going to sit here and look up coronavirus. You're playing off of that. You're playing off of their fear, their anxiety, and saying this is how I cope.
The actual numbers. All right, so what I've done is I've checked out the percentages around this. So most of these deaths are in China, all right? So first, let's look at where this virus originated, and that's in Wuhan, China. All right, so the most recent population number that they've shown is Wuhan has a population of over 11 million people, all right? So I wasn't able to find exactly all of the locations where these deaths have been confirmed, but let's just say to narrow it down to best case scenario. 11 million population, 250 people have died from this. So that is 0.002% of the population has died from this. And when looking at that number like that, that is less than 1% of people in one area of China. And that helps me think about the bigger picture, like how many people are dying from different things. You know what I mean? Automobile accidents, cancer,
don't want to think about that because that's an anxiety of mine.
That we deal with every day. So looking at the coronavirus, 0.002% of this population, but this virus is spreading, all right? More and more people in China are being affected by it. So let's look at the entire population of China, which clocks in at over 3 billion people. So let's say all 250 deaths are in China. That percentage is 0.00008%. All right? And these are the things that just help me, like looking at it, like I can look at this when my anxiety is kicking in. I'm like, oh wow, that's not even a full percentage. That is a fraction of a percentage. Like, how much do I really need to worry about this right now? Like, is my anxiety justified? That's something I ask myself all the time. Like, when I'm experiencing anxiety, I ask myself, is my anxiety justified? So let's compare the coronavirus to the regular everyday flu. So according to the CDC report, all right, we've seen an increase.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a really good coping skill because that is something that I use to kind of try to keep my anxiety in check. I know sometimes there are times where my anxiety is valid, but there are times where I go into that irrational thought and I'm going way deeper than I need to, and I will sit down and kind of look at it objectively and say, okay, should you really be worrying about this? And that allows me to look at it and understand that, oh, I shouldn't really be tripping right now. And it goes whoop to the back of my head. There are times where it doesn't work, hence the reason I still live in a state of anxiety. But it is a great coping skill you can use to get better at handling stressors or better at handling your rational thoughts when you are anxious. So it's something I definitely suggest people to try, but it might not work for everyone and for every situation. But it is a good coping skill.
65% when it comes to flu deaths, all right? Currently in 2020, and we're only a month into this year, there are 4,800 confirmed deaths from the flu, all right? That's pretty crazy when you think about it.
People need to vaccinate.
And luckily,
get your flu shots, people. Get your flu shots. Get them. Anytime I take my kids to the doctor, they go for their, do you want a flu? Yes. Give them their flu shots. I watch so many clients of mine decline the flu shot for whatever reason, but they decline it, and a lot of them might have some other chronic illness that makes their immune system compromised. Next thing you know, they get hit with the flu, they're in the hospital hurt. So get your flu shots, people. Get them. They do work.
Actually have vaccines for the flu, right? And something that they're working on is a vaccine for the coronavirus. But again, it helps me to compare these numbers. So I also do this with my anxiety around flying. So in 2019,
that don't work for me. That don't work for me.
Planet.
That don't work for me. I'm sorry, that don't work for me. Everybody always looks at the percentage. Everybody always looks at the percentages when it comes to air flying, certain things. And that's why I say sometimes looking at the percentages aren't helpful, because sometimes they aren't. You can sit here and tell me a small percentage of planes actually crash or whatever the case is.
I don't care.
Because my anxiety will take me to, well, I will be in that percentage. That's my life. I will be in that percentage. And that is like a perfect example. I am afraid of heights. I don't do planes. I've been in a plane one time in my life. I've shared it with my subscribers in a live stream that I don't do that. I want to go to other countries. I want to travel. But them planes, I'm not. And you telling me a certain percentage of it will not help. I will go into that irrational thought, and I am in that percentage that will be in a plane that ends up crashing. Sometimes that's how the irrational thoughts work. You can try to debunk them with showing them statistics and facts, but that might not help. That might be something that make them say, oh yeah, you're right, it is a small percentage. No, for me it's, oh yeah, I'll be that small percentage. So that's why I said earlier, I wouldn't use that as a coping skill for everyone. It'll work for some people, and I'm glad he's sharing his experience on how it works with him, but I'm also sharing how that could be problematic for some people. But again, that's just my opinion. That's just how it is for me with my anxiety, and I know there might be people out there that understand, but there might be people who disagree with me. But I just know for myself, and maybe for other people out there, that would be very counterproductive. But I'm glad that it's something that works for him.
Okay, 561 people died in plane crashes, right? So every time we're getting on a plane, we're like, oh my God, what if I die? What if I die? What if I die? Well, that's a worldwide number, 561. Well, last year in the United States alone, so that's not even a worldwide number, there were over 37,000 deaths from car accidents.
That's not helpful.
Right? So driving is something that I do every single day.
Not helpful for me.
I maybe fly on a good year.
Now there goes my anxiety about car accidents. Again, I'm not saying this is everybody, but these are just, he's like really talking about things that give me legit anxiety. I have bad anxiety when it comes to automobiles. So him sharing this information isn't helping me. It's not helping me. And again, mental health is individualized, but I want you guys to understand if this type of stuff freaks you out as well, this might not be a coping skill for you.
3 or 4 times a year, driving something I do every single day. So if I'm going to have anxiety about something, it should be driving. And driving anxiety is a whole different video.
Sure
is. The main
is.
tip for that is do not drive next to gigantic trucks. Helps me out a lot. So the second primary thing that I do to manage my anxiety around the news of the coronavirus is I absolutely refuse to let the media scare me. Absolutely refuse.
That's facts.
All right. Whenever there's any type
Do your
of
own
virus
research.
outbreak,
Do your own
it is
research.
like Viagra for journalists and media outlets, right? Like, as long as I've been alive, I'm 34 years old, and from SARS to H1N1 to you know, bird flu and what was it in the 90s? Mad cow disease.
Oh
and all
yeah.
that. Like, whenever a virus breaks out, they start salivating. They cannot wait to report these things, and I do not let them scare me. Okay.
That is,
in recent years, since the explosion.
I mean, media is important. They do get the word out and help spread awareness. But I also understand what he's talking about because they do end up causing like this whole freak out mentality, mob mentality. Everybody's just tripping and all of that. So I get what he's trying to say. But they are also important because it does bring awareness. People start, you know, taking care of themselves a little bit better. They wash their hands. They're going to see their doctor. But it can also be counterproductive because you're scaring all of these people.
Of social media. We have to understand that now that print media is slowly dying out, it's all about clicks. That's how these media outlets make their money now, is by getting clicks. So they have to sensationalize these headlines in order to get us clicked. Like, I feel bad for the journalists.
And it is up to us to continue to look into it ourselves.
Oh God,
we should never take this stuff face value.
Title around this article, you know what I mean? But one of the most powerful
you did the same shit though.
Out there,
like he's literally doing the same thing. He's literally doing the same thing. All the media hypes it up. You're doing the same thing by using coronavirus in your title to get people who are tripping to watch your thing, saying you're providing coping skills for people with anxiety around it, but you're really capitalizing off the anxiety around it. You did the same thing.
What I mean? So that's one.
Call out the media. Call out yourself.
Do this. So again, like, I don't let the media scare me. Like, according to the World Health Organization, over
at least he finally
1,000 people.
You already know
each year.
He's finally citing sources
from suicide. Like, I think the way they averaged it was like every 4 seconds, someone's taking their own life. So these are much bigger problems. And when it comes to things like mental health problems and addiction problems, like, these things are causing more deaths than any outbreak we've ever seen since like polio, you know what I mean? So I would much rather that news outlets and media organizations, I'd much rather them focus on these things that have been taking thousands upon thousands upon thousands of lives every single year, and no trend shows them like even coming close to slowing down. If anything, a lot of these issues are becoming worse. So I'd rather them focus on these huge issues that are constantly plaguing us, and families are getting destroyed because of these deaths, rather than getting this media boner every time a new strand of an illness comes out. You know what I mean? But anyways, last thing I want to do,
as you
if you
do
haven't
the
checked it out
same
yet, which you probably have, because it has over 4 million views, go check out the video that Dr. Mike put out. I absolutely love that guy because he brings common sense and rationality to all these health issues. And he talks a lot about mental health, so I respect that dude a ton. All right, I'm gonna link his video down.
He literally just cites him. He literally cites him when he fits whatever narrative he's pushing. I've noticed that. If it fits what he's trying to say, he will cite him. He's calling out. I can't.
Tips for how you manage your anxiety around news like the coronavirus. Like, do me a favor and leave.
No,
some
you could have
comments down
just
below,
left it at
because
managing
these are just ways that I manage
anxiety.
it, and maybe you have some better tips than I do. All right, but anyways, that's all I got for this.
Like, I feel he's trying to call out the media for sensationalizing a disease, but he did the same thing himself to get views because he has people, because he's stating, oh, you're coping with the coronavirus anxiety. He could have literally just made a video talking about coping with anxiety. He didn't have to include coronavirus. Like, it's hard because he's hypocritical, but he had semi-good coping skills that people could use. Like, you are mad at the media for sensationalizing coronavirus and getting people upset, but you are profiting off of them doing that by throwing coronavirus into your title. I really just see he could have just made a coping skill video. But of course, you know, his whole thing is,
no one wants to watch it. It's about mental health. I have to make it, interesting.
okay, but don't sit here and call out the media for sensationalizing it, because we know that's what they do. We know that's what they do. But don't call them out for sensationalize it when you turn right back around
and profit off of it.
Don't do that. You put the coronavirus in your title because you know you're going to get views. But I wouldn't turn around and be hypocritical in my next statement and say, oh, I don't like that's what they do, but that's what you're doing. This man is profiting off of the thing he's complaining about. You wouldn't put coronavirus into your title if you didn't know it would get you views, if you didn't think people would want to watch it. You can't just make a video about coping with anxiety. You want the views, you want the money. So don't turn around and get mad at the media for doing something that you're profiting off of and essentially doing the same thing. Like, just don't criticize them for what you're doing. Like, I don't get it. That's just something that bothered me, where it's just like, wait a minute, like, you don't like them doing it, but you're capitalized. Like, you're, what? Like, you decided to make a video when everyone is freaking out about it. Like, you're just profiting off of it, but yet you're mad at them for making it something that you can profit off.
Shut the heck up.
And coping skills are different for everybody. I know for me personally, small percentages of, oh, this only happens this much, doesn't work for me all the time. I'm sorry. I literally have to sit down and run through the process and have this conversation with myself. So again, this is individualized. Don't think that you need to walk away and try everything that he's stating, because it might not work for you. I am happy he has his own coping skills that does work for him and his anxiety in a way that's set up. So thank you for sharing your coping skills. But other than that, meh, whatever. It's one of his videos. Like, what can I say? It's one of his videos. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. Let me know, what did you think of this video? What did you think of his conversation, his coping skills? Do you understand what I'm saying when I say he's profiting off of what he's calling the media out? That's kind of hypocritical, especially when you put it in your title for your video. I want to hear from you guys. I don't care if we agree, disagree. That's what's great about this community. We can sit down, critically think, and have great conversations to kind of expand our minds. So I definitely want to hear from you guys below. So if you made it this far and you haven't subscribed yet, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Don't be afraid to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/JourneyToFindK. Check out my tiers, check out the perks you get with each one. But again, no pressure. All support is appreciated over here. You guys watching, commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing means so much to me and is greatly appreciated. And I thank you guys for watching another one of my videos. I will catch you in my next one. Bye.